Hi everybody, and welcome to Jewel Family Farm. Today I'm going to be starting some seeds indoors, and I wanted to show you how you can find a chart that'll help you know when to start your seeds indoors, because you don't want to start them too early. It depends on your zone that you're in. Like we're in 7A zone, and so you have to wait. You have to look when the frost dates are, and the last frost date, for 7A, it would be, the last spring frost is April the 5th through the 15th. So somewhere in that zone after that, so after April the 15th, I can start planting outside in the garden some of the later things like tomatoes, the things that frost could kill. Now, onions and greens and things like that, you can direct sow into your garden, before that date, because the frost won't bother them. But there are some things that you start indoors so that they get a head start, and then after April the 15th, you can plant them. But how you know that is, I found this, and I know it's backwards, and this is the Virginia Cooperative Extension. And it gives you it shows you your map. This is my map of Virginia, and it'll if you're in Virginia, this is where you would contact the Virginia Cooperative Extension. But if you're in another state, of course, you do your state and the cooperative extension. But I know this is backwards, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to do it the other way. But this is the state of Virginia, and it shows you each county. And so I'm in Spotsylvania County, so I would be in 7A right here. All right. Then with that, it gives you all the planting dates. So you up here in the corner, it tells you what zone that you're in, and this one here is 6A. So I need to go to 7A. So here's my 7A. And then on this, it has all of the vegetables. And then across the top, it tells you the dates to start them. So if it has an X, and down here at the bottom, it has like a little, what do you call it? A guideline. Like X's are for planting indoors. You have to look at it and figure out, but it tells you all the things you can plant from this date on. So for today I'm going to start a lot of my seeds that I'm going to be planting after April the, 15th. So let's get started on that. So I have these little, I bought these little cells, and it has a tray in the bottom that catches water when you water it. Then it has this little dome that goes on top. Let me see if I can get my camera up higher. Okay, so it has this little dome. It's like a little greenhouse, and these are going to stay inside until they're big enough. But what I want to do is, once the plants get big enough, I'm going to take them out of these little containers and put them into bigger containers so that they don't get real leggy, and you can get them down into like a solo cup or something like that. Anyway, I'll show you when it gets to that point. But I have started my sweet potato slips, and I had somebody gave me some sweet potatoes last year, and I saved the ones that weren't really big enough to cook. But all you do is, you can see the little slips starting to come out on that, and you just stick it in a little bit of water. I just propped it up with some toothpicks, and then let these little slips grow. And that's what you're going to plant in the garden, are these slips. You're not going to plant this whole potato. It'll just be the little slips that you plant in there. But we're going to, cut them off and put them in a jar of water when they get, I don't know, about that long, and about 4 inches long. And we'll cut them off and put them in a little jar of water and let them take root, and then we'll plant them in the garden. So there's that. Now, over here is my bag of dirt. Now, I had a whole bunch of compost outside, and I had some peat moss. And I just put an old tablecloth. I think this is a old shower curtain, I think. A piece of plastic. You can use trash bags, whatever, an old sheet, whatever you have, if you want to plant indoors, and you're having dirt in your house, so it's going to get a little messy. So I just have some dirt that I have composted outside, and I put some peat moss in with it, and it made a really nice, I mean, it's been composting for close to 2 years. And so this is what I have. I'm just going to fill my cells with this dirt. It smells good too. It smells, it's not, you know, like stinky dirt, like manure dirt. It smells like good, nice, healthy dirt. Like dirt's supposed to smell, but look how nice and fluffy it is. It's so nice. Now I'm just going to fill my cells up here. Try to get the big lumps out as best I can. I don't have a space outside to do this, or I would do it outside, but it's really cold outside, and we got tons and tons of ice today. We had ice storms for the past 2 days, and it's still snowing. Well, it's more like freezing rain out there right now, so I don't really want to go outside and do this, but I need to get it started. So my kitchen table with an old rag of some sort works just fine. Now, these big lumps like this, they need to be broke up. All right, so I'll be back as soon as I get all these cells filled. Okay, so I got all the cells filled. Now what I want to do is I just want to kind of mash this down in, mash each, kind of compact it in there. So I want to do that for each cell, because I want a good root system on my plants. And I want these to come out nicely when I pull them out and to put them into a bigger growing spot, like a solo cup. So I want to make sure all these are pushed down. Okay, so then after I push all this dirt down a little bit, I want to put a little bit of water in it. I got this at the Dollar General by my house. And you just pump the water, you put water in it, you just kind of pump the water up into it like that. And you can adjust the nozzle however you want it to how much you want squirted out, what kind of a stream you want. I'm just going to add some water to these cells. I'm not going to like put a whole lot of water, but I want them good and damp. So when I put my seed in, it'll start germinating sooner. Alright, just a little bit of water, dampen them down a little bit. The tomatoes that I'm planting in this they're called German pinks. This is a really good heirloom tomato. My great-grandma used to grow these. These are the tomatoes of choice. And I knew her. I knew my great-grandparents, both of them, when they were still living at home and planting gardens. And I was just one of them lucky people that had 3 sets of grandparents alive all at one time. So I learned a lot, got a lot of knowledge from them. And these are the tomatoes that she grew. They are good for canning, just eating tomatoes, freezing. They're pretty all-purpose, pretty good sized tomatoes too. All right. These tomatoes also, you can save seed from, because they're heirloom tomatoes. You can save seed from these. So when you grow tomatoes, and I'll show you how to do that once our tomatoes grow and we start saving seeds this fall. These are great for saving seeds for next year's planting. Okay, so I'm just going to put 1 seed in each little cell. I'm just going to drop it in there. You can do 1 or 2 seeds, whichever you wish to do. But that's all you do, okay? And I'll be back in a minute. Whoops, I got too many in that one. As soon as I get all these seeds in these cells. Okay, so I have from here down all of these seeds in here. Now some of them have more than 2. I'll try to get 1 to 2 in each one. It's kind of hard to do. The seeds are so tiny. But anyway, so then I'm going to write here German pinks on this little thing. And on the back, I'm going to put the date that I planted them. So what's the date of today?
19.
Okay, so 2/19. And I'm going to face the name of it this way, and I'm going to put it right here. So that way that in my mind, I know if it's facing this is what's planted here. So I can plant something else in these last few over here. So then the other thing is, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of dirt, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on top. Not too much. You don't want these big clumps on top though. You'll have a hard time getting through, so make sure that it's nice soft dirt for them to get through, the little plants to push through. It's messy doing it in the house, but you do what you have to do. I'm just going to fill all these cells up, a little bit of dirt on top, and then I'm going to water them. Give them a little bit more water. Okay, and that's it. Just kind of tamp them down a little bit. Add some dirt to the ones that don't have as much. You might have missed a little bit. All right, and just tamp them down and give it a little squirt of water. And next week they should be starting to come up. You don't want to drown them. You don't want to give them too much water. So drizzle a little bit on there. All right, that should be enough. All right, so that's how I plant my stuff. Everybody has their own way of doing it, but that's how I do it. So, all right, I hope you enjoyed this little lesson on seed starting, and we'll see you tomorrow. So take care. Count your blessings. Bye.